Good morning, beautiful souls. Liz Ross here. I'm a holistic relationship counsellor, coach, and registered nurse here in Newcastle, Lake Macquarie area. I just got back from the gym at Snap Fitness, Cameron Park. Highly recommend. They've got some amazing classes, a beautiful gym. Thank you, Bella, for the class. Today I wanted to talk on words of wisdom on a topic around trusting yourself when it comes to boundaries, because that's going to build your confidence and connect you more to yourself and creating healthy relationships. So firstly, when you trust yourself, okay, when you're listening to your body and you're tuning in, and if something doesn't feel right, then trust that gut instinct. So sometimes we've got to trust ourselves. You've got to trust your limitations. So what are boundaries? Boundaries are like the fences that protect your energy, your time, and your emotions and things like that, right? So you're pretty much looking after yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and all the things. And what can happen for a lot of the neurodiverse women that I support, they're quite empathic. So they're empaths, they're quite in tune, they're creatives. They may have a little bit of people pleaser within their energy vortex, and that can attract in toxic people, narcissistic type of energies and things like that. So it's really, really important for us to know our limits, to know what our boundaries are. So yeah, when we understand what boundaries are and when we understand why boundaries are important, then we can create boundaries. So we understand that boundaries are a way that we express ourselves, okay? Boundaries are there to protect our energy, our time, our emotions, and all the things. So why reduce resentment in relationships? It's going to reduce resentment in relationships. That is one of the main reasons why boundaries are important. It protects you, it protects your energy. You're going to be happier in relationships. You're going to connect better. You're going to feel respected if you feel comfortable or learn to feel comfortable and expressing your voice and expressing yourself and your truth. And if you don't, that's okay. It's a skill that can be learnt. A lot of people will placate and play the game because they want to be liked and loved, and they don't want the judgment and they don't want the criticism. Now, if people are going to judge you, let them. Look at Mel Robbins' book, Let Them Theory. That's on them, okay? If you have fears about being rejected or abandoned, what's the worst thing that can happen? You're going to get rejected and abandoned, and you can still live with that. You've got to live with whatever happens, okay? That you can do things alone, you can be independent, you can rock forth, you can connect with people that respect and value you, all right? So whether we have fears of judgment, abandonment, rejection in tribal groups shouldn't be why people keep placating or keep people pleasing. That's a really bad excuse. So if it's okay for the goose, it's okay for the gander. If it's okay for one person to have boundaries and express their truth, it should also be okay for the other person in that relationship to express their truth and set boundaries. All right. Some people won't like me and they can lump it. I never used to speak. I was as quiet as a mouse and kept to myself. And now I'm like, fuck it. I'm not going to do that anymore, because I'm here to encourage women to use their voice. Okay. To use their body language. Okay. Because if they don't use their voice or their body language, they can get stuck. They can feel stuck. They can doubt themselves because of criticism from their self, or criticism and toxic environments that they're potentially living in or working in. So boundaries are there to protect your time, your energy, your space, your emotions. Okay, why it's important is it's going to protect your energy, time, and your boundaries. It's going to reduce resentment in relationships. You're going to connect better. You're going to feel respected. How you can express a boundary. I feel overwhelmed when you keep giving unsolicited advice. Okay, then you can add on and say, this needs to stop. It's that simple. I feel X when. If we don't say it and then act it in our actions, if we don't do what we say we're going to do, then we've crossed the boundary with ourselves. So if we cross our own boundaries, then we're probably going to cross other people's boundaries. And this is common for a lot of neurodiverse women, because they want to be liked, they want to be loved, and they accidentally sometimes go into the people pleaser role or the rescuing role. And it's not our role to do that. That enables people's below the line behavior. It creates codependent relationships. It creates unhealthy expectations. It creates toxic relationships. It's saying to the other person that they can treat you that way. So enough's enough. So use your body language in how you do your boundary. So hand out, or you step back, take a step in, or I feel when. I feel angry when you're not listening to me. Practice it in the mirror, test it out 10 or 100 times, and then you get used to it. Okay? Because the people that love you unconditionally will respect you. They'll be like, oh, I haven't seen this side of that person. Okay? However, I'm going to respect this side of that person because they're telling me how they feel, and I want to respect their boundary. All right? So then the other person or environment then has to respect your boundary. It doesn't matter your age and stage. Everyone of every age has a voice and has a right to consent and has a right to boundaries. So when you're crossing your own boundaries, when you're not respecting yourself or your boundaries, you're crossing your own boundaries. It's as simple as that. And that is it for the words of wisdom. Boundaries are there to allow people to have healthier relationships and connections. You don't need hundreds of thousands of friends or hundreds of thousands of likes, like people that love you. You need to love yourself, be okay with the uncomfortable and the discomfort for a period of time until your body and your neurological system and your spirit and every part of your being catches up with balance. Everything has to be in balance and flow. And like I said, if it's okay for the goose, it's okay for the gander. If you're telling me you have a boundary and you're expressing your truth, I also have the right, as does Bob, Jill, and Frank. They all have a voice. Some people use their voice in their actions or inactions. Their actions or inactions. That can also be a boundary. Okay? So how are you creating boundaries? What do boundaries mean to you, and why may they be important? Would you rather repress your voice? Okay? And if so, what are the consequences of you repressing your voice and not having boundaries? What are the consequences? The consequences potentially will be health conditions, mental health conditions, chronic health pain, because you haven't been honest with yourself, and therefore how can you be honest with other people? And then the other consequence is you may be an angry, pessimistic, passive-aggressive person because you never said in your voice or in your actions what your boundaries were, and you were not consistent enough with it. You don't just do it once, you do it for the rest of your life. And the people that stick around respect it, and the people that don't, it's because they feel uncomfortable with the boundaries. They don't like what they hear. All right? They're not used to it, and that's okay. This is a new way. It's 2025. We need to rock forth. And then that's going to reduce toxic and unhealthy relationships, because you're then only going to attract in people that respect themselves and respect you because you respect yourself and you respect them. And that is a healthy relationship. Healthy relationships are based off trust, talking, and teamwork. If you don't trust the person that you're with, don't be with them. The reason why you don't trust them is because you don't trust yourself. Now, talking or communication is important. If you can't talk about your needs, wants, and desires, and they can't talk about their needs, wants, and desires, and you get offended, you have a problem. You need to do conflict resolution. You need to go through the forgiveness process and all of that. Now, teamwork, if you can't work as a team and when your partner's sick, you step up, then you have a problem. You're both a team. It's not just she does this, he does that. That's a bullshit. That's a 1950s relationship. This day and age, there's equality. So what's equality in your relationship? You're both equal, you both contribute. That's what I believe. Now, if you have both agreed to that's their role, that's your role, and you're both happy with that, with those roles and responsibilities, that's how your team works, that's what you both want, I totally respect that. But if both people aren't compatible with what they're agreeing on, then you need to compromise, not compromise yourself, but work together on the team to find what works for your team. You need to keep talking and keep rebuilding that trust. And this all relates to boundaries. Okay, if you can't handle boundaries, what aren't you handling about yourself? What aren't you liking about yourself? And why don't you like that part? Why don't you like that part within you? So if it's okay to be the nice girl and be the people pleaser and be the empath, why isn't it also okay for a neurodiverse woman to express her truth, to be a little bit different, to be unique, to just say it how it is, to be too much? I get people say, I didn't want to talk to you because you came off too much and I wasn't ready to handle that energy. Okay, I'm not too much. I'm just being me in this moment. We all have different parts of us. So some of us can be jokers 1 minute, we can be happy the next, we can be tired 1 minute, we can be upset the next in a 24-hour period. And that's okay. We don't have to be perfect. We don't have to make people like us. We need to like ourselves and be okay with sometimes being a human, sometimes being angry, sometimes being upset, because that is real and authentic. You can't get in life just by being a happy, placating people pleaser. People that are like that, from my observation over a 40 to 60 year period, end up doing the opposite. They end up having a midlife crisis and then just giving up on life, or giving up on their family, or giving up on themselves, because they never respected themselves. They never knew what their boundaries were. They never knew what their no was or what their yes was, and they never stuck consistently to that boundary and consequence. If you keep speaking to me like that, I'm going to leave the room. That type of stuff. If you continue this bad behavior, I will not be talking to you. Everyone has the right to say that. Every human. This is how I'm going to be teaching, because this is how it is. This is how it is. If it's just one way and the highway, that's an unequal yoke. That's an unequal relationship or connection. That's not fair. That's not equality. Whether you're a man, woman, or any gender, I don't care what gender you are, okay? You will get a better result in your relationships if you speak your truth. Whether it's direct, okay? Being a direct communicator is not bad. There's some people, like, I'm talking directly because it's a live, and it's not like I'm talking to a group of people. I'm actually if you look at my personality profile, and I'm quite feminine, but on a live, I'm like, well, fuck it. I'll just be direct and say it how it really is. When I'm in my feminine, I'll still say it how it is. However, I'm like, how's everyone feeling about that? Is it okay if we move on to the next topic? All that stuff. So we've got to be okay with not being okay. We've got to be okay with not being right all the time, and we've got to be okay with the uncomfortable feeling of, shit, I just set a boundary and now I'm not going to be liked. Yeah, I just set a boundary and people might not like it. And that's okay. Let them. Mel Robbins, Let Them Theory. Thank you for creating that book. Let them. Okay, let them. If they want to think that or feel that or think that you're a bitch or think that you're direct, let them think that. Because they haven't taken the time to get to know you as a soul being. If people actually took the one-on-one time to get to know themselves and their partner and their friends, then they get to get to know that person on every level. They get to see that more feminine, soft, giving, because they've earned that. They've earned that. And because you've earned that and you've been there, I'm going to give you everything because you've been there since day dot. But if you're just a Joe Blow off the street, I don't know you from a bar of soap. I'll still be nice and smile and wave, but I'm not going to give you everything. I'll give you some food and water and a jacket. That's some basic stuff. But there's nothing else I can give. There's a boundary there, right? Okay, so someone might come off cold or bitchy or direct, but they're not necessarily cold, bitchy or direct. They come off that way to protect themselves because they've been done over a lot of times. So they've had to learn to be direct. They've had to learn to stand on their own 2 feet. They've had to learn to be independent because they can't trust people, because people have betrayed their trust. People have let them down. Okay, people have messed with their mind. People have emotionally manipulated them. And then when you become aware of that and you take off the rose-colored glasses, you no longer want to be the nice girl or the empath or the intuitive one anymore. You want to switch off all your giftings and you don't want to be that person anymore. You almost become cynical and pessimistic because why is it that way that some people get mistreated constantly over and over and over and over again, and the persecutors or the perpetrators get away with it? So if it's okay for the goose, it's okay for the gander. If it's okay for one person to have a boundary, it's okay for everyone to have a boundary. And just knowing that just because people come off direct or too much, what was their back end story? What has created them into that? It's a choice. They choose how they behave and how they see it. I agree. However, if they've been through, if they don't trust people because people have let them down, cheated on them, lied to them, whatever it might be, they're going to be more direct. They're going to put up a wall, and only the right person and the right group of friendships will have access to the full heart, have access to everything. So they get to see the good, bad, and ugly, not just the ugly, because society can just look at you and go, oh, they're a bit rough, they swear. They're making a judgment based off a live or based off one meeting. You don't have enough evidence, you don't have enough facts, and you don't know that person's back end story. Okay, so people aren't bitchy, they're not just assholes. They're being an asshole or a bitch to protect their heart, to protect themselves. Because finally they're using their voice, or they're taking action on something that they wouldn't normally. And they're going against society, and they're going against the grain. They're the 1%. Right? Because a lot of people don't speak their truth. They don't say what they actually mean. And that confuses the fuck out of me. Just say what you want, say what you mean. You're going to get a better result. I don't like reading between the lines. So just, it's black and white. It's a yes or a no answer. That type of thing. It's easier. Okay? But yeah, that's it. I think boundaries are important. They're there for a purpose. And I think that we need to accept ourselves more and be okay with change and be okay with not being okay. Because it's not always easy setting boundaries. But would you rather take the dirty Band-Aid off properly or just slowly take it off? Because the dirty Band-Aid is infecting the wound. Okay? So what are boundaries? Why are they important to you? How do you do boundaries? And what was your one takeaway? Hashtag replay, hashtag live. Join my free community, create healthy relationships through healing. I'll share that at the end. If you want to work with me, I'm doing my final group coaching in 2025 because I'll be going on family commitments after the 30th of June, like I've said. So I won't be doing Monday live words of wisdom. It'll just be a random live whenever I want to do a live, whenever I have 5 minutes or half an hour. So the Solstices Mastermind, we go live on the 18th of March until the 3rd of June, online via Zoom for neurodiverse women that want to create healthy relationships. So if you're wanting a healthier relationship with yourself and others, this will be the group coaching for you. And yeah, we meet from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Sydney time on Zoom. And I'm going to coach and counsel you each intuitively. And it's a great place to have accountability and group support and community each week. You'll also get an ebook I've created. There's about 200 to 300 pages. It's easy to get through. Sounds like a lot, but it's not. And I take you through my evolved process of healing, your energetics, your psychology, and creating balance. And you go through each pillar. Within each pillar, there might be things on communication, family of origin, your inner child work, healthier relationships, and things like that at a deeper level. You read the information, then you answer the journal questions. And then you watch the 5 to 15 minute short video linked to that. And that's pretty much it. So if you want to join my program and you want the in-person group coaching one-on-one, it's at a really special rate right now, and we go live in 8 days time. So it's $84 a week on a payment plan, or $999 Australian. It hasn't been like that since like my second year out, and I'm now six years in business. That went fast. So it's a great deal. If you want extra one-on-one sessions and one-on-one support, then you pick tier 2 and 3, which is at a higher rate, which is obvious. Okay, so if you want one-on-one, it's going to be more. If you want the group coaching, it's going to be at a budget rate. So yeah, if you're a neurodiverse woman, if you're wanting to create a healthier relationship with yourself and with others, this would be the program for you, the group coaching program, the Solstices Mastermind. So either DM me that you're interested in getting more information, and I can send you more information on that, or book in a 30-minute call today or tomorrow, or by next week on Monday before we start on the Tuesday. And that's pretty much it. If you're new to me, okay, start in the free community. Start simple. So in the free community, I'm currently going live with live relationship Q&A. It's free. I've been doing that now for 4 years this year. And we finish up on the 30th of June in there as well. So then I'll have a few of my colleagues go live in there, and there'll still be entertainment and education, but just at a different type of capacity. So then, yeah, if you're wanting from there, it'll be the paid services, so the membership, the e-course, or you join the wait list for one-on-one or group coaching for 2026. So that's pretty much an overview of what's going to be happening moving forwards. So either DM me or book in a call, and I'll share the link if you want to join the Soul Sisters Mastermind at $84 per week on a payment plan, or join the free group if you want all the free stuff. Okay, and we finish up on the 30th of June. All right, lots of love. The group coaching finishes on the 3rd of June. So that's 12 weeks. And I finish up doing all the lives by the 30th of June on the regular sort of time and day slot. All right. Remember that you are loved, you are worthy, you are significant in each and every one of you. Have a Pepsi. God bless. Happy Monday. And I'll talk to you all soon. Bye for now.